Representation of Buddhism is most powerful through the media for the average human. Oral preservation is still in practice, but print and video are the most effective communication mediums in today's society. Unless you have access to a Buddhist devotee or the discipline to fully educate yourself on the topic, knowledge of Buddhism will come from bits and pieces in the media. With media consumption, it is easy to simply go off what you have seen than indulge in some research. For something as foreign as Buddhism, representation is in the hands of others. One of these others is the advertising world. Advertising has linked Buddhism with products and services for years. I would like to focus on the relationship between advertising and Buddhism. The classic representation of an exotic religion as an escape from the stressful and chaotic Western lifestyle can be seen through advertising. I will first comment on the notion of Orientalism and exoticism, and then show how it is portrayed through Buddhism or tactics used by advertisers. I will then provide examples of advertising influence on the perception of Buddhism. The notion of the Orient creates a distance between Western and Eastern cultures. The West consists of the United States of America and Europe. The East is considered to be predominantly Asia. A definition goes as such. The Orient signifies a system of representations framed by political forces that brought the Orient into Western learning, Western consciousness, and Western empires. The Orient exists for the West and is constructed by and in relation to the West. It is a mirror image of what is inferior and alien to the West. This ideology originated from a lack of perspective. Too often do people rely on others to interpret worlds and events. This is the job of the informative news sources, not of persuasive media. The media will adjust the interpretation to fit their goals, and will provide secondary accounts of Asia and its Eastern culture. People who have not traveled to Asia are left with the images that people want us to see. Advertising portrays Buddhism as an exotic religion in a far-off, mysterious land. People are naturally interested with mysterious cultures, and in this case, religions. Consequently, Buddhist images and concepts become attention grabbers. The religion is exploited into representing an unknown world. A gentleman offers a unique look at this strategy. Maximilian Weber, considered one of the founders of the modern study of sociology, states, "One may argue that it is the exoticism and the motive to re-enchant the world, perceived as cold, rational, and deprived of all mystique. This is the central theme behind using Buddhism to attract consumers to a product or service." We have now seen how Buddhism has become an area of interest in the Western world. Now let's look at the marketable characteristics of Buddhism that are used to entice audiences. Taking a look at the Buddhist teachings and lifestyles reveals a reversal of a stereotypical American lifestyle. Americans are constantly on the go. Days are filled with stress and work. Buddhism can be linked with a release from the hectic American lifestyle. Meditation clears the mind and releases stress. Buddhism puts fate into the hands of each follower. It teaches an inner peace amongst booming Western chaotic lifestyles. The West is predominantly dominated by monotheistic religions, where the fate is in the hands of others. Buddhism provides an alternative philosophy, and differentiating oneself from the predominant religion always appeals to a large audience. Younger generations often look for a contrasting philosophy than that of their parents. Buddhism reveals a fresh new look at life. Messages of peace and tranquility are linked with products and the feelings felt or derived from making a purchase. Finally, the doctrine does not discriminate towards anyone, and the ultimate goal is happiness. This is a concept you can sell to anyone. These concepts are brought into advertising mainly through images and text. According to the International Journal of Humanities and Peace, the most basic role of Buddha images is to convey the feeling of calm and detachment that reflects proper mental discipline with control over the negative emotions of fear and greed. The Buddha's serene appearance sets an example for its followers. These images are then used to invoke feelings derived from mysticism and the spirituality of the Orient. In linking Buddhism, products become different and distant from Western products. Symbols are used to feed off of the fascination with far-off lands and their religions. A dominant example is the laughing fat Buddha. This image is the most commonly depicted in the West. Misconceptions have arisen because of this new fascination, including the false connection made between the laughing Buddha and the Gautama Buddha, the founder of Buddhism. The laughing fat Buddha resonates as the actual Buddha, much like the white Jesus. This consequential misconception is a big reason for the uproar against Buddhism in advertising. Naturally, there is much opposition to using Buddhism to manipulate people into buying a product or service. The Buddha himself would have words against this strategy. The Buddha most likely would object to using Buddhism as an advertising theme. He does not believe Buddhism is the religion based off images and or iconography. Although very popular in Buddhist history, images in Buddhism are ultimately deemed unnecessary. Religious images are often linked with deity figures. Buddhism does not have gods in power as in monotheistic religions. Images perceived as reflecting Buddhism can portray the wrong information about the religion. Consumers of ads may be led to believe the Buddha is a god. This is the wrong message to send to a Western culture, but the very idea behind advertising is that advertisements tell consumers to trust in the message. In the Kalama Sutra, the Buddha's message is to put trust in your own experiences. Whether an audience is influenced to trust or is immune to the messages, advertising will continue to get its messages out there. It cannot be avoided. Some Buddhists have realized this and began looking to the positives of the situation. There is an acceptance to Buddhism in advertising in that it can have a useful purpose. Rick Fields, author of Buddhism in America, states, while just the word media automatically conjures up worrisome issues of manipulation, cultural decline, and least common denominator thinking, it is important to recognize the valuable contributions for which the media can be instrumental in bringing about. You cannot stop advertising because tactics are constantly evolving. As in the doctrine of skillful means, upaya, the Buddha would say advertising is just another way to tailor one's message so that more people can understand it. The American Buddhist founder of the Dzogchen Foundation stepped in line with Western thinking. According to Newsweek, Lama Shirya Das is developing a flavor with Ben & Jerry's called Jolly Lama. He plans to donate his profits to a Tibetan refugee project. Buddha is open-minded, he says. He taught the middle way, not a way of austerity or grim unworldliness. Although the profits will go to a very worthy cause, the Buddha might question Lama Surya Das's tactics. Exploiting Buddhism's exoticism is questionable. The Yongquan Temple in China is another group that is pioneering the acceptance of advertising. The temple is the first Buddhist monastery in China to buy television advertising time. The goal is to promote tourism to the temple's mountain retreat. The Yongquan Temple paid $24,000, outbidding competitors for a time slot on a morning talk show. The monastery wants to extend monks' greetings to the people. They plan on buying additional television time to improve its communication with the outside world. Both endorsements by Buddhist groups are adaptations to the times. Spreading the message is beyond traveling village to village. Technology is available to reach mass audiences. The Buddha would question the motives, though. As long as the motive is strictly for promoting the Buddhist teachings and not money, tailoring the messages goes along with the original plan. Most of the messages that include Buddhist themes are not formally endorsed by Buddhist groups. Advertising agencies have picked up the interest in Buddhism and began pitching ideas to clients. I have assembled a very brief overview of examples. The first one is Omo, a laundry detergent based out of Australia. One of their commercials provides an interesting look at one of Buddhism's well-known concepts. The storyline goes as such. A man helps an old woman lift a bonsai tree off the ground. He is rewarded with mud on his shirt. The old woman helps a young girl get up after the young one tripped in a storm. The old woman is then rewarded with a muddy print from the young girl on her blouse. The young girl then helps a peddler pick up his spilled fruit basket. The peddler drives off smiling and sprays dirt on the young girl's blouse. The